So we thought, since we earlier in the show did video game soundtracks, we would kind of keep the soundtrack motif going here. And we're going to go just soundtracks in general. So this could be movies, TV show. I think most of ours are movies, though. But didn't necessarily have to stick with movies. I think it just kind of ended up they were all movies. But, I mean, there was a couple TV soundtracks I could have thrown on here, but mine and yours both just happened to lined up with
they did. We mostly went with movies. What's funny though for me is that this is a great example of a top 5 list that looked great on paper. And then I was like, what was I thinking trying to put together a top 5 soundtracks list?
Yeah.
Do you have any idea how much that encompasses? That's why we broke out and part our top 5 video games ultimately here. Besides the fact I didn't have a lot of that stuff in my collection. But the other reason is because I was like, oh my gosh, between movies and TV and horror soundtracks alone, I could do a top 20 of horror soundtracks alone. So
I am so happy to hear you say that, because I had the same thing. And I was just like, oh. And then, this list was hard for me to make, too. And even now, looking at my list, I'm like, there's one of these that I could take off, and I could think of about 10 other things I could have put on. But it's like, it's already too late. The list is made. It's done. So I'm going to go with it. But I will mention that when I get to what the number is. Like, this one, I mean, it's good. Don't get me wrong. But I can think of about 4 other things I could have put on to replace it. But,
The thing that's really interesting, though, and the reason I kept this and didn't just ditch it or something, is because it really makes you think about your own collection, your own likes and dislikes, start to analyze, maybe in my case at least, quite a bit more about, well, why do I like this so much? What is it about this versus this? And this putting together top 5 soundtracks was awesome as well. And I'm really excited to share the records that we're sharing with you here today. So
it was a fun list to make.
Did you
not the hardest list I've made so far, but it was a fun. It was a hard list to make.
What's funny for me is I just whined and moaned about how difficult this list was, but really when it came down to it, it was the easiest list I put together, because I went back to the thing that I first did when I got. Well, let me look at my collection and pull out my top 5 soundtracks. I went, this. Done. And then I started analyzing it and thinking about it and going through all the thing. And I was like, yeah, but I really want this one. And I want to show off this one. And I already kind of maybe in one case showed off this one, whatever. And when it came down to it, I was like, nope. All that thinking, I'm just back where I started with my top 5.
So you want me to start again?
Sure.
Okay. This is for my number 5. We have talked about this soundtrack before. Didn't actually ever show it when we talked about it. But it was during the heavier metal episode. At the end, we were talking about metal movies and stuff like that. And then we got started talking about movies that suck so bad, but their soundtracks are really good. Yeah, my best example of that is the Last Action Hero soundtrack. Full disclosure, this is an unofficial release. This was never actually officially released on vinyl, but this sounds amazing, as you'll hear from the clip I pulled. And the nice thing about, I guess nice is not the right word, but the special thing about this is a limited edition release, which who knew unofficial releases could have limited edition releases. It's on this yellow vinyl. It's a 2-disc set, but side 1 actually has no music on it. It's just printed. It's almost like a picture disc, but there's no music on it. It's just like a still from the movie. So I thought that was pretty freaking amazing.
Is it's a 3-sided record?
Yes.
with essentially side 1 being on side 2 of the first disc.
Yes. That it's weird, but yeah. And then it's got custom inners. Yeah, like I said, this isn't unofficial, but it sounds really, really good. It looks good. It sounds good. It's pressed good. This soundtrack is just so good. It's got like Alice in Chains, AC/DC, Megadeth, Tesla, Queensryche.
I think in hindsight, you won that discussion with my brother, me, and you on that soundtrack. I don't think we recognized it at the time because of that. We didn't see the full list there.
Yeah.
I think that's it. That could be.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it's so good. It's this is just such a good album. So yeah. So there you go. The Last Action Hero soundtrack.
A lot of what we're seeing here is going to split along 2 lines, which is there's a whole bunch of different kinds of soundtracks, but there's really, in some ways, 2 pillars. One of which is a collection of popular or not popular, or whatever, but a collection of songs that are played while the movie is playing. And then there are soundtracks that are composed for the movie. I lean in my top 5 a lot with the compositional side because I'm a huge fan of movie soundtracks and TV and really video soundtracks in general. And my number 5 is going to kick off with Tron Legacy, the 2011 sequel to the original Tron. I don't have the original Tron on vinyl yet, but it also is going to someday be in this collection. But it's an incredible soundtrack that got released. I think I actually picked this up not long after the movie came out. So if this isn't the first pressing, it's something like it. And it's a really nice vinyl record set of the soundtrack by Daft Punk. At the time that Tron Legacy came out, there was a bunch of music critics and people on the internet and things like that were like, oh, the Tron Legacy soundtrack sucks because it doesn't sound like a Daft Punk album. It's not a bunch of dance bangers. It is not a bunch of dance bangers. There are a couple of points in the soundtrack that are really great examples of the best that Daft Punk has put together. But in general, it's a very orchestral, environmental soundtrack deliberately by the band, Daft Punk. And so a lot of the music critics at the time, just like the movie itself, had sort of a mixed reaction. As soon as I saw it in 3D originally, I was like, I think this might be my favorite movie. And that remains true today, really frankly. Yeah. I recognize the plot may not be the greatest thing ever at all points, and maybe there's a few pacing issues and stuff, but I absolutely love Tron Legacy. And I love the soundtrack by Daft Punk for this as well. I don't think I wouldn't have changed one moment of it. And I think it's one of the best soundtracks in my collection.
My number 4 is the one that I talked about that in hindsight, I probably could have took this one off and added various others. Like I said, I can take out the top of my head 3 or 4, but we're just going to go with what I first picked, and that is the Natural Born Killers soundtrack. This, if you've not seen this movie is wild, violent, and very crazy. It's crazy movie, but this is a very eclectic soundtrack. Let me actually take the vinyl line here so I can see. Like, you've got everything from Leonard Cohen to L7 to Patsy Cline to Nine Inch Nails. You even have the Dog Pound on here as well. This is just a crazy, like, insane soundtrack to match the insane movie.
Oliver Stone has gone through really eras of his career, and this was really the peak of his kind of wild filmmaking era. Really, in part, commercially influenced by, like, I can't remember if it came first or if Pulp Fiction came first. I can't remember now.
Natural Born Killers was before Pulp Fiction.
Was it? Yeah. But it was kind of in that vein where it was pushing the boundaries of what was acceptable to see on summer movie screens and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
And deliberately so. And it was a pretty heavy satire of a movie as well, with a lot of real pretty rough to watch bits and things.
There's some hard to watch parts in that.
But like you say, fueled by just a heck of a soundtrack.
It's so eclectic and so varied. Like, 1 minute you're hearing L7, the next minute you're hearing Patsy Cline, and you're like, what is happening right now? Like, what is going on? And then, produced by Trent Reznor, by the way. That was his first foray. He didn't actually write anything. That was his first foray into soundtracks, was that one. He just produced that one. And then after that, that's when he started getting more into soundtracks, which he's doing a lot now. Which pretty much, I mean, Nine Inch Nails is on tour, but I doubt we'll ever get another Nine Inch Nails album again. He is very heavy into the soundtrack world.
I just put some of my cheap CDs away, but you know what's funny is one of my local record stores was like, listen, we just got a couple crates of CDs. We're selling them for like $1 each. And
oh, nice.
So literally, I could have included the CD in my What's New, because this is one of the most recent things I've purchased for my music collection, is the Natural Born Killers soundtrack.
It's so good, though.
This also is one of the most annoying CDs because they don't give you the track listing. They don't give you, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, that's annoying.
You cannot see on the outer case what the tracks are. You cannot see on the inner case what the tracks are. You cannot see in the track list who the bands are. You have to go into like the credit sequence to figure, it's absolutely redonkulous.
Oh, no.
But whatever. It's a great soundtrack.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Yeah. So there you go. My number 4.
My number 4 is a very unusual pick, and it's a record I discovered while browsing a shop in Worcester, Massachusetts, some number of years ago. And it is called Psych Funk Sare Ga. And what it is a bunch of largely Bollywood soundtracks. So this would have been, India is just as big, maybe bigger than the United States in terms of Hollywood, in terms of size and scope and everything of it's an equal. It really is. And it has been for a very long time as well. And this is an exploration across a 2-record set of soundtracks, both TV, movies, and other things. And it's just got the most incredible sound to it. And it has got a book of information about it that you're going to see in this clip. And it is just an exposition of tripped out stuff that is wild and fun. And to a person like myself, so incredibly, this record is such a wealth of knowledge that I absolutely adore it. I love the songs on this, but I also love the presentation because it goes into so much detail, and I learned so much about the context of where this is coming from. But where it's coming from is kind of left field because it's Psych. It's Psych music from the late 60s all the way into the early 80s, and you know the kind of movies they made in, say, the 1970s in America and their soundtracks. Wait till you hear what they were doing in India, is what I would say to that. So
I'm excited to like hear a clip from this because I like looked at it on Discogs and I'm just like, what the heck, man? Like, what even is this? Like, how did you even discover that?
I was just browsing the rack. I saw it. I was like, I love soundtracks, and I think it had like a $35 price tag. Wasn't cheap, but that's because it came with the big book and everything, and I was like, this sounds incredible. I don't even need to know if any of the music's good on it. I'm just going to read all this stuff anyway. And then I turned it on, and it's stuff that could be so mined from like trip hop and beats and sampled and everything else. I mean, it's so ripe. There's so much creative cool stuff in this. It's like the ultimate hipster soundtrack in some ways. It's super cool.
I'm excited to check that out, actually. My number 3 is going to be another one of those movies. Very strange movie. Prepare yourself if you've never seen the movie. It is the Lost Highway soundtrack.
I got my head, but my head is unraveling. Can't keep control, can't keep track of where it's traveling. I got my heart, but my heart's no good. And you're the only one that's understood. I come along, but I don't know where you're taking me. I shouldn't go, but you're reaching, dragging, shaking me. Turn off the sun, pull the stars from the sky. The more I give to you, the more I die. And I want you. And I want you. And I want you. And I want you. You are the perfect drug, the perfect drug, the perfect drug.
Produced by Trent Reznor. It's a David Lynch movie. Once again, this is Trent going into his producing a soundtrack. Gatefold.
It's a great looking album. It's a really nice matte cover as well.
Yep. This is a music on vinyl release, so you can't get this anymore. It's out of print. It was one of the limited edition at the movie music on vinyl releases. This soundtrack, it's kind of different because it has music from artists on it, and then it has music from the movie. It's got like the score of the movie kind of interspersed. So it's a little different. It's got David Bowie, Smashing Pumpkins, Nine Inch Nails. This is a great movie, but it's like kind of a weird movie. It's like one that I don't watch the movie a lot. I will watch it maybe once a year, maybe. It's a strange movie.
David Lynch doesn't make, quote, normal movies in the traditional sense of the word ever. You would never expect that of David Lynch, but
very, very true.
Even among David Lynch films, Lost Highway is certainly at the very least somewhere in the middle of the pack.
Yeah.
In terms of weirdness.
And it's just on standard black vinyl, nothing fancy about the vinyl, but there you go.
That's awesome. I love that soundtrack. Clearly it's not actually on vinyl. Like I can't go buy this too easy.
Yeah, no, you can't.
But awesome.
Got to get it
pick.
Secondhand. It was like, I don't remember what it wasn't numbered, but it was like limited to the release, like all music on vinyl stuff is. They might eventually repress it at some point, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Great soundtrack. Lovely. Great soundtrack. One of my all-time favorite movies as well.
I cannot see. Now that is one that I would love to own on vinyl. I can't believe you have that on vinyl.
Yeah. Enter the Dragon. Music composed, conducted, performed, recorded by the Lalo Schifrin Orchestra. And it is one of the most famous martial arts movie soundtracks of all time, of one of the most, frankly, the most famous martial artist of all time.
Oh,
and
easily.
It's absolutely, when people think about 1970s martial arts, funky, fresh, kind of just fun music, it don't get much better. which was absolutely my
so
number
good.
3, no question. I've
Oh,
loved
yeah.
it since the moment I saw the old VHS tape or whatever, and
100%.
the moment that I found this 180-gram Rhino vinyl at, I believe, Weirdo Records in Cambridge, Massachusetts, for, can you freaking believe it, $13,
No.
sealed, about, I don't know, 12 years ago, 13 years ago or whatever. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? And I have pretty much still feel that way about this find today. You only have so many awesome finds like this in your career, and this was one of them, I
Right.
think. So
Right. Yep. No, that's a real good find.
yeah.
Wow. So, and that is like one of my favorite martial arts movies too.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a good movie.
I would strongly recommend the Fist of Fury soundtrack as well, if you get the ability. There was an official CD release of the Fists of Fury and Game of Death soundtrack combined, and that's
Okay.
pretty great if you can dig that one up as well. That's on CD. I happen to have it in my collection too, but not the easiest thing to find.
Well, your number 3 ties nicely into my number 2 in the fact that mine is also a Lee, but mine is Brandon Lee, and it is the Crow soundtrack.
Unrecognized, well preserved.
Which one of my all-time favorite movies. So good. The soundtrack, so good as well. Like, it's got The Cure, it's got Stone Temple Pilots, it's got Nine Inch Nails, it's got Rollins Band, Helmet, My Life with the Thrill Kill Cult. So it's got some rock, it's got some metal, it's got some gothic twist to it too. But yeah, just
I don't know
So good.
what year The Crow came out, except that I know I was still in high school. What year did that
would
come
have
out?
been, I'm trying to think, 90.
Okay, you said 90. That's the important thing. I think
Three,
the,
yeah,
okay,
93 maybe, because I was still working at the radio station.
all I could say is
So-
The Crow is the most 90s ass movie that ever 1990.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
its soundtrack is
And this-
one of the most 1990s soundtracks that ever 1990 as well, in a good way. In a good way.
I am glad you said that, because I have had many an argument with people stating this and my number 1, which I'll talk about in a moment, are the 2 best 90s soundtracks ever. Fight me on it.
I'm not gonna fight you on it. We're
Nope.
locking arms, man.
Yep.
I'll be
Yep.
player 2. I'll punch my way
This
through those
is-
crowds.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is like 90s in a nutshell. This soundtrack, this movie, along with my number 1, which we'll talk about in a second. But yeah,
Awesome.
so good. So good soundtrack.
We're going to the 80s, and we're going with horror on my number 2, which is one of my favorite horror movies, but also one of my for realsies favorite horror movie soundtracks, and that is Phantasm.
Again,
My understanding
Can't
is that
believe you have this.
Yeah, my understanding is that there are some number of people out there who are pretty angry about the fact I might have this record, because my understanding is this became real hard to get for a long time, and just recently finally got a repress or something. But however, look, mine's in beautiful condition. I've kept it absolutely immaculate. I love
I see that.
this vinyl record. I love the
See that.
soundtrack.
I love this movie.
This was one of the few times, speaking of a local record chain that is somewhat controversial to me, but is also awesome. Exclusive Newbury Comics, red
okay.
with gray wave vinyl, which is why I have it, because yoink, limited edition of 400. it's the one that came out back in the day by Mondo. And I paid $40 for it, but it was worth every penny. And I love the soundtrack. I absolutely love it. I like the whole Phantasm movie series, honestly, except really the first three are the best. But still,
I agree.
And the soundtrack throughout. It's very proggy, which is, of course, it's proggy. That's why I like it. But nonetheless, it is.
Right.
But the other thing I would call out about this soundtrack is that it's also environmental horror movie music. You could pick, you know, like something Friday the 13th is not on your list, right?
No.
You could pick
could have
something,
been, but no.
You could pick something like Friday the 13th, and in terms of that environmental music, or perhaps a Halloween soundtrack by a John Carpenter or something like that. But I don't happen to have those. And in my opinion, Phantasm is a real great example of that kind of thing as well, which is not just great rocky proggy stuff, but great environmental 80s horror movie soundtrack music as well.
Oh yeah. 100%. Good pick. And yeah, I am jealous that you own that. I have been looking for that forever.
Well, I guess it's out now. People are saying you can order it now.
Yeah, I saw that. I've seen some posts and stuff about that, so I'm going to have to look and try to find that finally. Mm-hmm. My number one, I knew was going to be my number one. This was like I just had to, like, my number two and my number one, I knew right off the bat. The others, I was like, okay, we'll figure it out. I'm going to kind of cheat and do the extended version of this. There is also a single album released as well, but it is the singles soundtrack. This is one of my favorite movies from the 90s. This just recently came out from Mondo. This is a 4-disc set, so it's 2 discs each one. It's got like pretty much all of the music that was in the movie. The first release of this only had certain songs. This has like every, even if you've seen the movie, you know, like Soundgarden and Alice in Chains are featured performing in the movie. These songs are on this version of the soundtrack. You get those live recordings of this, but this again is pure 90s. This is 90s alternative. It's 90s grunge. It's got Alice in Chains. It's got Soundgarden. It's got Pearl Jam. It's got Paul Westerberg, who is from The Replacements.
Yeah.
He has several songs off of that soundtrack. I love, and Singles is one of my favorite 90s movies, along with The Crow. And that is another one I'll die on the hill of. Tell me there's a better 90s soundtrack than that, and I'm going to tell you you're wrong.
I could start thinking of stuff maybe, but it's a perfectly great, excellent, rock solid number one pick. It was a huge soundtrack as well. What's funny about what you say about the music rights of it all is that even though it was a gigantic commercial success as a CD soundtrack back in the day, trying to repress it in 2025 has proven somewhat difficult, I guess, hasn't it? Except now, because you've got all these record labels and licenses and things that you got to deal with if you try to repress a movie soundtrack, and especially something like that, right? So
100% shocked when Mondo came out with that, and it had like all of the music from the movie, and I'm like, I don't know what hoops they had to jump through to get the rights to that, because there's so many bands, so many different record labels. Like some of the people, you got the complications, like Lane Staley of Alice in Chains, and Chris Cornell of Soundgarden's no longer with us, so that probably complicates some rights too, I would think. It depends how, I don't know how that works after they die, if the record company still has the rights, or I guess it depends all. Yeah, so a headache to figure out, but I'm glad they did. So yeah, and I also have like the single release too.
Nice.
But I just cheated and showed off that one because that one's got like all of the music from the movie. So, and that is readily available still on Mondo's site. It was a limited edition release, but you can still order that if you want that version of it. It's still available on Mondo's site.
Maybe I'm wrong, but you would assume someone like a Mondo would be like, hey, if we just keep this one in stock, it's going to generate regular revenue for us as a catalog item, and people are going to want it.
Right?
So maybe we can just keep doing it.
I would hope that's what they do. Like I said, I ordered as soon as they announced it, I was like, boom, ordered, done. Mm-hmm. I didn't have to think twice about it.
My number one is a repeat, but I can't not put Goblin Suspiria at the top of my best soundtrack list. It is my favorite movie.
You should.
It is my favorite soundtrack. It is my favorite record. All three in one. So tough. The thing about the Suspiria soundtrack is I absolutely love it. It's really atmospheric. It's really creepy. It's really weird. It's really proggy. It's very environmental. They went in the studio and started howling and banging on drums and doing all sorts of cool things. And it was a creative collaboration as much as anything that resulted in Argento's final film, along with the great cinematography and everything, blending together to just be one of the most impressive horror movies ever made. And there's no piece of it that could be extracted from the film and make the film better. And in some ways, understanding the soundtrack, you have to really see the movie to understand the soundtrack. But if you're like me into prog and Italian prog rock and Italian horror movies and that, Suspiria is the king. Oh, I know what I was going to say. You were saying how one of your records, you could have picked 5 just for your top 5. I could have done the same thing. I could have just said top 5 soundtracks or the top 5 following Goblin albums and just done that instead for this top 5 list. And there was a version where I was like, well, if that's true, Goblin's my favorite band. They almost entirely release soundtracks and they're my favorite records in my collection. How do I not make this top 5 soundtrack list just be 5 Goblin albums? But then ultimately, I love all this other stuff as well. So yeah, Suspiria is still my number 1, and we're going to get to the rest of the Goblin. This will probably be the last time we'll feature Suspiria. I won't bring it back for Halloween. I promise.
Oh, come on. You got to bring it back for Halloween. It's Suspiria.
No, I'll bring out one of the others instead. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
There you go. Suspiria, man. Suspiria.
Yeah. I just recently finally found that on Blu-ray. I've been looking for the Blu-ray forever, and I finally found it. And I can't wait because it's got a DTS audio, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to hear that soundtrack in DTS. Yeah, it's going to be great.
Well, actually, depending if you're getting the Arrow version, they have the original 4-channel stereo mix, which is the one that was the original Italian theater mix that was designed. Goblin's music was designed around. So
that's the Blu-ray I have is the Arrow. Yeah.
Okay, good. And if you've got the 4-channel option available to you, go with that. Okay, it's really good. Right. So
I will do that.
Yep, I love that. I love that Blu-ray so much.
That is a great pick.
We're done then, aren't we?
We are done.